of MusiCares, Mike Green.
That was Mr. Jerry Sherrill embarrassing everyone right back here. Thank you, Jerry. Folks, welcome. As you can see from all the way over here to all the way over here, Dana Tamarkin and her great staff have done another fabulous job. Big round of applause. We want to say special thanks to our honoree Paul Simon, who you're going to be hearing about over and over tonight. Former honorees who are with us tonight, Mr. Tony Bennett, Gloria Estefan, Elton John, Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder. Big round of applause for them. Thank you very much, guys. Our dinner co-chairs, Francis Preston, Roger Ames, Les Biter, Lauren Michaels. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work. Grammy Host Committee chairs, Roy Lott and Tim Lewicki. The producer for tonight's show, Mr. Phil Ramone and Tim Swift. And again, a big round of applause for all the MusiCares staff. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Phil, wherever you are. We also want to express our gratitude to QVC. I've never even thought about being on QVC until tonight. I was wrong about QVC, I want you to know. I realized I'd been wrong all these years. They have done a spectacular job. Listen to me. These folks came in and they told us, they said, you know, you run a great auction. Let us take it and do it all over this country, and we'll raise you a lot of money for your financial grant and assistance program. And it has been such a classy partnership. We've had so many artists down there talking to them. The phones just went absolutely crazy. We're very excited about it, and with us tonight is the guy who helped us come up with this, the president, Mr. Doug Briggs. Please give him a big round of applause as well. Thank you, Doug. I don't think any of us need to be reminded of the contributions that Paul has made to the history of rock and roll. He's won 16 Grammys. He's been nominated 33 times over his illustrious career. He's won Album of the Year 3 times, and tonight he is nominated for an unprecedented 4th Album of the Year. He is also, we are very happy to say, going to be performing for us on the show on Wednesday night. Thank you, Paul. From The Sounds of Silence, Homeward Bound, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Still Crazy After All These Years, on and on and on. His songbook is something that all of us marvel at. And tonight you're going to hear a lot of these songs done by some artists who were absolutely thrilled to come up here and sing for Paul. What's less known about Paul, because he doesn't like to wear it like a badge, are his philanthropic contributions. He's the co-founder of the Children's Healthcare Center Fund, which has helped change the lives of over 200,000 children with 16 pediatric programs, which is unbelievable. And we're proud to announce this evening, we're also proud to announce this evening that MusiCares is making a contribution to the Children's Healthcare Fund of $100,000 to keep on that great work. So thank you, Paul, for that. And before I say anything about MusiCares, because I want to give a very brief report to you on where we are with our service programs, I also want to thank our last year's MusiCares Person of the Year, Elton John. I want to thank him for his dignity and grace and all the help he has always given us and everybody else. But more importantly, I have done 142 interviews in the last 10 days. Most of those have been about one of our favorite candy bars, little chocolate candy things, M&M. And these interviews have really shaken the consciousness of a lot of people about issues that are very, very important. Courage is something that I think all of us realize is in short supply most of the time with most people. And tearing down walls, building bridges, the very essence of what all of us want to be, who we want to be, how we want to act, how we want to be viewed by others, is exactly who Elton John has always been. And he performing with Eminem on Wednesday night is one of the most spectacular visions of that. Thank you very much for that, Elton. So a lot's happened since last year with MusiCares. We now have 3 full-time health and human services managers in New York and Los Angeles and Nashville. Harold is out here doing substance abuse intervention and treatment in Los Angeles. That's Harold's groupies over here. They're also going to be manning and womaning the safe harbor room at Staples for all of our stagehands, all of our musicians, everyone who's in any sort of treatment program or aftercare or 12-step programs. That's going to be going on. It's already going on through rehearsals all the way through the end of the program. And I want to acknowledge these folks because you always see my ugly face at these things, but the fact is, when it comes to people who are in need, it's these caseworkers and these people 24/7 who are there on these toll-free hotlines who get the work done. So if all of our caseworkers and MusiCares staff would stand up, please give them a big round of applause. They're the heart and soul of this whole thing. Since we sat at a small table in 1989 and Woody Herman was being thrown out of his home on his deathbed, a whole lot has happened to this organization. The following year we gave out $26,000 in grants. This year we will have given out over $1 million in financial grants, intervention, treatment, counseling services, and these take a lot of forms. It's not just people who may be having catastrophic health care. We bury family members. We buy small refrigerators for people who need their medicine refrigerated. We pay light bills. We pay phone bills. We help guitar players who've had their hands crushed in automobile accidents. And every single day, one of the reasons when I come up to PCH and can't wait to get to work is because I know there is a resonance in terms of the job that our great people do. The difference in 1989 and now is not only MusiCares. It's a lot of other organizations from City of Hope and the Martell Cancer Foundations, Neil Bogart, MAP, a lot of great organizations, and the consciousness of this industry in the last 11 years because of all those great people has once again, I think, reminded us how we are the most fortunate people in the world to live and work among the greatest people in the world. And I tell you, we're really getting to the point where we have a much more hospitable place for young people. David Foster, a lot of us are going to be at Grammy in the schools in the morning at USC, and I can really look at them now and say that this is a business that after you're 45 years old, that, you know, in addition to all the other careers you can go into, that there is a compassion here. There is a need to find a place to make sure that we have dignity for our people as they get older. And you are all responsible for that, and I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. We have served a lot of people, but the figure I love to give the most often is that 95% of everybody who applies to MusiCares for financial grant and assistance is helped. And that is an amazing figure, and it's something that we're hopeful more and more people will continue to come and more people will continue to be helped. Final thing I want to mention is Encore Hall. Financial grant and assistance only gets you so far. We last year came here before you and told you that we were optimistic about securing our first Encore Hall site in North Hollywood. Unfortunately, the Metropolitan Transit Authority had a couple of other ideas about the site. I'm proud to say that the City Council of Los Angeles this past Wednesday passed a resolution to see to it that a strip of land, and many of you will know where this is, Hollywood Boulevard, Ivar, and Selma at the Doolittle Theater. It looks like that's going to be the home for Encore Hall, 150 units of senior living, and we're hopeful to break ground on that in the next 3 years. 3 months. Thank you. Additionally, in breaking ground on that in the next 3 months, and we've got a great friend here who has pulled this off. His name's Dan Falcone. He's sitting somewhere up here. Dan, we love you very much. We also have 5 other sites identified in other cities around the country that within the next year we're hopeful we're going to be putting shovels in dirt at those places as well. Lastly, I want to say that when it comes to really being able to stand here before you and see all of these great people, the only reason this happens is because our honorees allow us to use their name and use their likenesses and draw on their friends to come in and do these evenings. And tonight, Paul Simon, Dan Cloris, all of you guys have been so great in helping put this thing together. Your heart, once again, matches the quality of the songs, and we certainly appreciate that. And the first gentleman we're going to introduce tonight, it takes some serious credentials to be able to introduce the likes of Paul Simon and his songs. So since this guy was named Man of the Year by Hasty Pudding Club of Harvard University, that was good enough for us. He needs no further introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chevy Chase.
Thank you. I have no remarks to make right now. I will shortly. I have the enviable task of reading cards, and the first one is, Hef, zip up your fly. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. There we are. Oh, there we are. Okay, our first artist released her debut album in 1999 on How Life Is. Immediately went double platinum a little over a year later, and she has 3 Grammy nominations. Please welcome Macy Gray.
Hallelujah. Be my bodyguard. I can be your long lost pal.
Very, very beautiful, very beautiful. Very, very, very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You know, I have to say that coming out here and honoring my best friend is probably the highlight of my life. Let me just get rid of this. Hand this to somebody? Thanks. You know, I really remembered that step well, didn't I? I'm the foggiest. You know, believe it or not, there are some people who say Paul Simon is just another power-hungry little guy, you know, who lucked out by using the name Tom and Jerry and playing that sissy music, and, you know, it worked because Artie had a good voice, that he was arrogant, that he was aloof, condescending, jealous, hypocrite. People say these things. And songs are generally written with a thesaurus in one hand and a joint in the other. Thank you. Good night. I can tell you, I've known Paul for, a little longer than we'd want to say, 25 years at least. And he is one of the kindest, most intelligent, and funniest men I've ever met. And one of the sweetest guys, and one of the greatest dads, and very deserving of this award tonight. And I'm very happy to be here. I drove in from New York, 57 DeSoto, 4.5 days, wasn't bad. And be driving back shortly. Let's see who's up next. Hold on a second. This is what they gave me. And $28. Apparently, the music business is just not enough a challenge for our next performer. A leading salsa musician, a dynamic actor, and a radical critic of Latin American dictatorships, a voice of power in the world of music, acting, and politics, a multiple Grammy Award winner, and sharing the stage, Latin's music great, here to perform a song from the Paul Simon musical Cape Man. Please welcome Ruben Blades and Danny Rivera.
Nací en Puerto Rico, Borinquen es mi nación. Vivo orgulloso de mi gente y por eso hoy les canto con fervor. ¿Quiere, Rubén? Ya.
I see myself those summer evenings hanging out with boys from Lexington and Park. Red beans and rice from kitchen windows. It's supper time and the barrio is dark.
Quiero que te amen como te amo yo. Quiero que te quieran como te quiero yo. Sin ti, Borinquen, te confieso que no soy feliz.
I was born in Puerto Rico and my blood is taíno. Spanish Caribbean, my soul. We came here wearing summer clothes in winter. in our soul. Your family rented this apartment. You'd watch the street lamps from your perch. In the sacramental hour, your stepfather in black preached the fire of the Pentecostal church. No one knows you like I do. Like I do, like I do. Nobody can know your heart the way I do. No one can testify to all that you've been through, but I will.
Yo nací en Puerto Rico.
Dígalo, Dani.
Por interés mi nación. Y por eso yo te canto. Que yo te canto con todo mi corazón.
You cannot even read your story. The pages piling up in shame. Before the night will give you, the guard will kill the light. The night you change your name to the Cape Man. Yo nací aquí en Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico.
This past MusiCares Person of the Year and multiple Grammy... What the hell do you think you're doing? And multiple Grammy winner has already released a great deal of gas. I'm sorry. Oh no, her greatest hits. Her greatest hits, volume 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gloria Estefan.
You couldn't possibly know that, Chevy, because we were not in the same green room. Anyway, I'm going to do something very brave with all these incredible musicians up here. I brought my guitar that my dad and mom gave me when I was about 10 years old. My husband gave it a facelift this year because it was so cracked that it didn't play anymore. And I wanted to do something for Paul that was special for me because, Paul, you don't know it, but you wrote this song that I'm going to do. You wrote it for me. My dad had just come back from a tour of Vietnam, I was locked up in my room every day with my guitar, playing songs from the radio, and you've made relevant, beautiful, creative music for all 4 decades of my life. You continue to do so. Congratulations, by the way, on your Album of the Year nomination. But mainly this song to me was my bridge, because I was experiencing many troubled waters at that time, and I don't think you'll know how many lives you've touched with your writing and with your beautiful music. I'm going to start, and then I'm going to let the real musicians take over. Okay, let's see. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. Oh, I'm on your side. When times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your hand. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on to sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. Oh, see how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge Paul for so much beautiful music.
Gloria Estefan. Turn it on. Gloria Estefan. You know that Call Me Out thing? That was Lorne Michaels' idea. He said, Chevy, why don't you do a video with Paul? And you sing. And we did it in an afternoon. We won so many awards. They're all over Paul's wall. I got nothing. Over the last decade, our next artist has managed to capture the imagination of millions of music lovers, pick up 2 Grammy Awards and an NAACP Image Award. From reggae royalty, please welcome the incomparable Ziggy Marley.
Such a mysterious way, and the course of a lifetime runs over and over again. So I would not give you false hope on this and mournful day, but the mother and child reunion is only emotional way. No, I would not give you false hopes on this strange and mournful day, but the mother and child reunion is only emotional way. It's only emotional way. Respect, Paul. One love.
Thank you, Ziggy. Ziggy Marley. Yes, see la katakan bidia la kaprole, or just killer. This multiple Grammy winner's latest album, Whole New You, will be released on March 27th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome recording artist Shawn Colvin.
Thank you.
won't do it out of tune. I just won't. I thought I tuned it right. Many's the time I've been mistaken, and many times confused. Yes, and I've often felt forsaken and certainly misused. But it's alright, it's alright. I'm just weary to my bones. Still, you don't expect to be bright and bon vivant, so far away from home, so far away from home. And I don't know a soul who's not been battered. I don't have a friend who feels at ease, and I don't know a dream that's not been shattered or driven to its knees. But it's alright, for we've lived so well so long. Still, when I think of the road we're traveling on, I wonder what's gone wrong. I can't help it, I wonder what's gone wrong. And I dreamed I was dying, dreamed that my soul rose unexpectedly, looking back down at me, smiled reassuringly. I dreamed I was flying high up above. My eyes could clearly see the Statue of Liberty sailing away to sea. And I dreamed I was dying. We come on a ship they call the Mayflower. We come on a ship that sailed the moon. And we come in the age's most uncertain hour and sing an American tune. But it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. You can't be forever blessed. Tomorrow's gonna be another working day, and I'm trying to get some rest. That's all I'm trying to get some rest. Thank you.
First time I heard Peggy Sue, I was 12 years old. Russians up in rocket ships and the war was cold.
He came of age to the sounds of doo-wop in 1950s New York. The Yankees ruled, rock and roll was exploding, and young Paul Simon was getting good on the guitar. His father, Louis Simon, played professional bass and encouraged music, but it was a school pal named Art 3 blocks away with whom Paul would make music history.
Hey, schoolgirl in the second row.
As Tom and Jerry, the pair got themselves onto the charts in 1957 for a fleeting taste of fame. Inspired, Paul went to England, absorbing the freedom of the emerging folk music scene. By 1964, Tom and Jerry were gone, and a new sound blossomed.
Thank you very much. I am Arthur Garfunkel, and over here is the writer of all the songs that we do, Paul Simon.
In the words that it was forming, and the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls.
Paul's songwriting captured a new texture, merging complex imagery with delicate melody.
Looking for fun and feeling groovy.
They touched a chord in audiences as Paul continued to stretch his artistic reach.
Some songs you try and express yourself emotionally. Those are different songs for me. And they express what I feel, and they relieve the tensions that I feel when I express them.
During 1967's Summer of Love at the Monterey Pop Festival, Simon and Garfunkel took their place among the leading musicians of their generation.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
By 1968, Simon and Garfunkel's peerless sound had vaulted them to the top of the music world. From the height of success, Paul Simon challenged himself to strike out alone. And in short time returned with a fresh vitality and new musical avenues to explore. Paul blended the rhythms of Jamaican blues and gospel sounds with his precise word imagery. By the mid-70s, Paul Simon was one of the most acclaimed songwriters of his time.
I find him quite funny. He enjoys doing things, and naturally he goes into moods when you're working, because he is a serious, very thoughtful person.
And we drank ourselves some beers, still crazy after all. Oh, still crazy.
With fame, fortune, and acclaim, Paul Simon seemed to have it all. But for this special artist, the reach for greater heights had only just begun.
After all these years.
We'll be right back after this following message.
I can't get through the door!
After the word and before there was rock and roll, rap, or hip hop, our next performers were performing gospel music. In fact, they are the oldest gospel group performing today. They're here tonight to share the stage with the past MusiCares Person of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grammy-winning the Dixie Hummingbirds. And the incomparable Stevie Wonder.
Before singing anything, I'd like to say to you, Paul, that it's truly an honor to be a part of the celebration of your creativity, your career. And I was thinking a little while back, I was remembering I was performing at the Copa Cabana. And was yourself, Roberta Flack, and the late Donny Hathaway came to the concert, and I sang, and, you know, can I say? When I grow up, I want to be as great as you. And God bless you, and thank you for putting out an album this year. The singers that are with me, the group, the Dixie Hummingbirds, I remember when I was a little boy, maybe 4 or 5 years old, my mother would let me listen to the music, and I never imagined I would be on stage with them, so it is truly my honor to be here to do your song with them tonight. Say yeah. It's kind of flaky, come on. Say yeah. It's a little better. Guitar.
Was a little boy, never would call me. I'd say, who do you think you fool? I'm a consecrated boy. Sing a little Sunday choir. My mama loved me. She loved me. Got down on her knees and hugged me. She loved me like a rock. Well, rockin' like a rock, oh baby, love me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me.
I was gonna be a man. The devil would call my name. I say, who do you think you're fooling? I'm a consummated man. I could purity. My mama, she loved me. She loved me. Get down on her knees and love me. Oh, she loved me like a rocket. God bless you, Paul.
From Spinal Tap and Best in Show, the marvelous Michael McKeon.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad I didn't wear the lime green tuxedo. Hi. Well, thank you very much. You guys go ahead, just get busy. Although, as you may or may not know, I am not a close friend of Paul Simon's. In fact, I've only met him a couple of times. In fact, I've spent more time with his son Harper than I have with him, who astonished me by being the only person of his tender years to know all the words to the Everly Brothers' "I'm Here to Get My Baby Out of Jail." Clearly a song his daddy taught him. So what am I doing here? Well, I think I'm here because, like Mr. Simon, I grew up on Long Island. Thank you. Yes. That slender fish-like object suckling at the welling cultural teat that is Manhattan. And it is because of lines like that that I chose not to pursue a career in songwriting. But I'm very glad that some of us did. But believe me, there was no shortage of talent on the island during the 60s. I mean, listen, we had the Good Rats, The Illusion, Isis. Anyone? Isis Sisters? Huh? Okay. The Hassles, featuring Billy Joel. Attila, featuring Billy Joel. Billy Joel. The Rascals. Come on. The Vagrants, featuring the artist soon to be known as Mountain. The Rich Kids, the Sheiks, Barnaby Bye, the Phaetons, the Blues Magoos, at least one of the Left Bank, and the Thrashing Butterflies of Divine Happiness. But Paul's talent and drive led him to a much bigger arena, for which we are all so grateful. And I'd like to take this opportunity to express to Paul my pride and gratitude for putting Long Island on the map where it remains today. Thank you very much. Having said that, I would now like to introduce an extraordinarily talented woman. She's been nominated for a Grammy in the Best New Artist category. You're about to find out why. Ladies and gentlemen, Shelby Lynne.
What can I do? Much of what you say is true. I know you see through me, but there's no tenderness beneath your honesty. What's your hurry? You and me can make amends. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Oh, honesty to lie to me. Just give some tenderness beneath your honesty. You don't have to lie to me. Just give some tenderness. Thank you, Paul Simon.
Thank you, Shelby Lynne, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. I don't think there's anyone alive who has never had one of this man's songs running through his head. Some of you have it running through your heads right now, I'm sure. He single-handedly created a genre of music and a production style, and just incidentally won the hearts of all of his musical peers. I've always wanted to say this, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Wilson.
Need more monitors.
I'm really proud that I could be here tonight to be part of this tribute. Paul Simon is one of the greatest songwriters ever, and I think this is one of his greatest songs. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains. The sound of silence. In restless dreams I walk alone. Narrow streets of cobblestone. Beneath the halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light, and split the night and touched the sound of silence. I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never shared. And no one dared disturb the sound. Cancer grow. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echo in the waves of silence.
take your burdens to the Mardi Gras.
By the mid-70s, Paul Simon was one of America's premier recording artists.
But you do write songs about trucks and truckers.
Oh, I've never written a song about a truck or truckers.
His creative reach extended to television and film projects.
Now you look just like yourself.
And in 1981 joined Art Garfunkel
Well, it's great to do a neighborhood concert.
for a concert special that drew a record 500,000 people to Central Park. His music remained an acclaimed journey of the creative spirit, with each new album offering fresh insights and directions.
Sing ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes.
And the album of the year is
On 1986's Graceland, Paul used his artistry to illuminate a cry for dignity and freedom.
For the most part, it made a very powerful point gently.
He countered harshness with beauty and introduced the world to the true voices of South African culture.
But I hope and wish that someday we will be able to invite Paul Simon to Johannesburg in a free South Africa.
Well, I'm accustomed to a smooth ride.
Throughout the 90s, Paul Simon continued his musical journey, fusing rhythms and words into irrepressible energy and pushing the creative envelope with an original Broadway production and electrifying concert performances. And with equal dedication, Paul has answered when called to help.
It's a pleasure for us to be here for Neil and for the Bridge School.
He's appeared on behalf of causes such as Neil Young's Bridge School Benefits, AmFAR, and Farm Aid. Since 1986, he co-founded and remains active in the Children's Health Fund, a nationwide effort providing mobile health clinics to underprivileged youngsters. With 2000's Grammy-nominated You're the One, Paul Simon again proves himself as a vibrant musical force, always expanding a career of songs that inspire, comfort, and make us smile.
Jack.
Just make a new plan.
Stan.
An artist of unbounded vision, Paul Simon stands center stage as a national treasure whose work we'll continue to anticipate for many years to come.
Is that me? You'll just have to get out of my way. I'm sorry. I was so busy. Wow, that Sounds of Silence, that's a good song. Do we notice that? Wow, and that was like A in an endless alphabet. Oh, I know you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a collaboration I'm going to introduce. She is the exquisite voice that cautioned us to look twice at that stranger on the bus. And they are the first-person plural of Irish music. Ladies and gentlemen, Joan Osborne and the Chieftains.
I'm sitting at a railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Every day's an endless stream of cigarettes and magazines. Each town looks the same to me, the movies and the factories. Every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be homeward bound. I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Tonight I'll sing my songs again. I'll play the game and pretend. But all my words come back to me in shades of mediocrity, like emptiness in harmony. I need someone to comfort me. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Silently for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Martin.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The day after I graduated from high school, I woke up in the morning with the strangest feeling, a feeling that I should honor Paul. I did not know who Paul was, but the feeling was so strong. I knew that this was something I had to do. During the next 4 years, I loved attending college, but something was missing. Was it because I had not honored Paul? After college, I toured the United States with a comedy act, achieving success beyond my wildest dreams. Yet there was an empty place in my heart. I'm sure it was because I had not honored Paul. I then entered the world of film, got married, matured, yet there was a growing feeling that something was left undone. It was to honor Paul. Tonight, finally, I have been given my chance to honor Paul. Paul Newman is a great, great actor. But he is not the Paul I am to honor. No, I am here to honor Paul Simon. But who is Paul Simon? First and foremost, Paul Simon is a guy who was willing to fly here tonight and be honored. And is it not our duty to honor those who fly to a place? Wouldn't it be wrong of us to honor someone who wouldn't even fly somewhere? But yes, Paul flew. Paul Newman did not. If you look around the room, there is no Paul Newman, unless he's hiding. And he could be. In fact, I am now convinced that Paul Newman is hiding somewhere in this room. So, Paul Newman, tonight we are here to honor you. We are grateful that you flew here tonight, and we are humbled to be in your presence, even though you are under a table. But what about Paul Simon, a man who chooses not to be under a table? For this, he deserves our highest honor. A man who flew here tonight and did not get immediately under a table. Unlike Paul Newman, who apparently did. Singer, songwriter, lyricist, musician, poet, spokesman for a generation. None of these apply to Mr. Paul Newman, who I am now convinced is under table 15. But do not look. Don't look under table 15. It's what he wants you to do. So let's turn our attention to a man worthy of our honoring. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce Mr. Paul Simon.
I haven't written anything down tonight. I wanted to speak from the heart because I'm very humbled to be on stage with one of the biggest inspirations in my musical life. Bernie and I were talking earlier about, we used to share an apartment at my mother's apartment. We used to have a room to ourselves, and we bought our first stereo, and we used to listen endlessly to Paul Simon records. And then we listened to Bookends, which for me, along with Pet Sound, is one of the finest American albums ever made, one of the most adventurous albums ever made. And to this day, when I hear America, I cry because it is such an incredible song. This man is incapable of writing a bad song. This man is a perfectionist. He's an amazing, amazing talent. I can't tell you how much you've given, the amount of pleasure you've given us with your songs, me especially. As a musician, I admire you. I admire your integrity. I admire everything about you, except that shirt. And it's my great honor
I'd
to be
like to present you with this award for the second year in a row.
No, this is yours. Please, one of the best artists, singers, songwriters of all time, Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I got it. Paul, on behalf of all these folks out here and all your fans, welcome the newest MusiCares Person of the Year, and we ain't leaving till we hear something from you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Simon.
Mississippi Delta, shining like a national guitar. I am following the river, down the highway, through the cradle of the Civil War. And I'm going to Graceland, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee, going to Graceland. Poor boys and pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. My traveling companion is 9 years old, the child of my first marriage. I reason to believe we both will be received in Graceland. She comes back to tell me she's gone, as if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own bed. As if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair from her forehead. She said losing love is like a window in your heart, and everybody sees you're blown apart. Everybody feels the wind blow. Yeah, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland. Poor boys and pilgrims with families, and we all going to Graceland. My traveling companions of ghosts and empty silence, but I've reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland. There's a girl in New York City, she calls herself the human trampoline. And sometimes when I'm falling, flying, tumbling in turmoil, I say, oh, this is what she means. We're bouncing into Graceland. I see losing love is like a window in your heart, and everybody sees you're blown apart. And everybody feels the wind blow at Graceland. I'm going to Graceland. I cannot explain, but some part of me wants to see Graceland. And I may be obliged to defend every love, every ending, but maybe there's no obligations now. Maybe I have a reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland. And I'm going to Graceland. Oh, into Graceland. I'm going to Graceland. I remember I was lying in my bed. I couldn't have been no more than 1 or 2. And I remember there was a radio was coming from the room next door. My mother laughed the way some ladies do. When it's late at evening and all the music's seeping through. Yeah, the next thing I remember, I'm walking down the street. I'm feeling all right with my boys and with my troops. And down along the avenue, some guys were shooting pool. I heard the sound of acapella groups singing late in the evening, and all the girls out on the stoop side. Well, I learned to play some rhythm guitar. I was underage in this redneck bar. I stepped outside to smoke myself a J. When I come back to the room, everything goes zoom, zoom. I turned my amp up loud, began playing. And it was late in the evening, and I blew that room away. Thing I remember when you came into my life, said I'm gonna get that girl no matter what I do. Well, I guess I've been in love before, and once or twice I've been on the floor, but I've never loved no one the way that I love you. And it's late in the evening, and all the music is seeping through. Thank you so much for an incredible night out. I can't tell you how much fun this was. Fabulous for me. Thank you so much.
I bet that we can get him to do one more if you scream loud enough. Come on, come on. Hey, Paul. One more, Paul. Yeah.
maybe I can borrow somebody's acoustic guitar. Oh, okay. I'm back. I am just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I've squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jests, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, unscared, laying low, seeking out the poor quarters where the ragged people go, looking for places only they would know. La la la. Asking when they work those wages, I come looking for a job. I get no offers, just to come on from the whores on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome, I took some comfort there. Then I'm laying out my winter clothes, wishing I was gone home, where the New York City winters are bleeding me, leading me, going home. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that laid him down on a cut him till he cried out in his anger and his shame, well, I'm leaving, but the fire still remains, he still remains. La la la. La 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 so much. My thanks to the
Great
artists
job,
who
guys.
performed here
Great.
tonight. It's so touching to me to hear my music played by so many great artists. Thank you for your contribution to MusiCares, for making a memorable night in my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to the producer this evening, Mr. Phil Ramone.
Get out.
Thank you very much for coming. Drive safely. And on behalf of MusiCares, we love you very much. Thank you.